Ever wondered why some people shut down during a fight while some won't stop talking until the problem is solved? Well, it often comes down to attachment styles. Dumelang, welcome back to Healing the Inner Child with Mami Dalai. What are attachment styles? Well, according to helpguide.org, attachment styles or types reflect how you behave and are based on the emotional connection you formed as a baby with your primary giver, often your mother. This thing is deep, guys. For the longest time, I didn't know anything about attachment styles until recently, until last year. That's when I found out about this. And honestly, immediately found out about it, everything started to make sense. How I behave, how I react to things, how I react to misunderstandings, how I react during conflict, and etc. We have 4 different types of attachment styles. The first one being secure attachment style. People who are securely attached, usually like growing up, their caregiver was there like all the time. They could depend on them, and they reassured them. They validated them whenever they had an issue, but they can always count on their caregiver. That's how they develop this secure attachment style. Helpguide.org says, as someone with a secure attachment style, it's likely your primary caregiver was able to stay engaged with you as an infant and effectively manage their own stress, as well as calm and soothe you when you were distressed. They made you feel safe and secure, communicated through emotions, and responded to your changing needs on a regular basis, enabling your nervous system to become securely attached. I think this is the attachment style that we all dream of becoming. Stress even about the things, being secure in oneself, especially in romantic relationships. Because with anxious attachment style, which takes me to the second attachment style, it's the opposite of that. I believe I fall under anxious attachment style because number one, I'm very anxious. Guys. I'm very anxious. For now, strong, and it's hard. I think one of the reasons why this is the case is because I lost my parents when I was very young. I lost my dad when I was 10, my mom when I was 11, and my maternal grandmother when I was 12. So understand, it was always pain after pain, pain after pain. And I was always anticipating in a form of death. I don't want to lie. I remember after my granny's passing, who's next? Does it mean now I'm gonna lose my siblings? Since we've lost our parents, we've lost our granny. So it means it's looking like a mobaning. And by the grace of God, ever since my granny's passing, I also experienced Lifu. All of my siblings are still alive. They're really sharp, and my prayer is that until I don't know until when. People with anxious attachment style tend to be overly needy. As the label suggests, people with this attachment style are often anxious and uncertain, lacking in self-esteem. They crave emotional intimacy but worry that others don't want to be with them. Ooh. Yo, guys. Honestly, this used to be me in relationships. Every now and then, I assurance. Whenever I would sense or I would make it about myself, you understand? I would internalize that. Maybe I did something for this person to behave this way. if get into something, then it means I can also do something to try to make things better. Or else sometimes it really has nothing to do with me. But I'm working on it, guys. I think I'm doing better now, especially because I am now challenging myself. You know, starting a YouTube channel is not an easy thing. Putting yourself out there, because the moment you put yourself out there, whatever we bear, to criticize. So I was like, you know what? Of always being anxious about things I can control and those that I cannot control. So how about I just do what I want to do, especially if it's not harmful to me. So like I said, this YouTube channel, yeah, I do the hard things. I run, I wake up early, I do things early in the morning. Yeah, man, I keep challenging myself to do the difficult things. The third one is avoidant attachment style. Actually, avoidant attachment style, I'd say it's divided into two categories. The first one is dismissive avoidant, and the second one is fearful avoidant attachment style. I'm gonna start with dismissive avoidant. Oh, hi, guys. You're never dismissive. I know it's not your fault. I know it really isn't your fault, but you guys are hurting us. Because people are dismissive avoidant, I feel like they don't care. If I am able to handle my own emotions, if I'm able to control my own emotions, why can't you do the same? And sometimes they do the most horrible things, if I'm being honest. They ghost people, they invalidate people's emotions. You handle your own life and I will handle mine. Where else in life doesn't work that way. Life is teamwork. And I feel like even in relationships, they even find it hard to open up. They shut down. You see, during conflict, most avoidants shut down. And honestly, I can't understand. I'm still trying to understand why Holy adults with an avoidant, dismissive, insecure attachment style are the opposite of those who are anxious, attached. Instead of craving intimacy, they're so wary of closeness. They try to avoid emotional connection with others. They'd rather not rely on others or have others rely on them. Hi guys, imagine I had a bad day, now I come home and I find my avoidant partner. And whatnot. Aban dismisser. Most of it were avoidant. It was that thing of, yes, my parents were around, my mom, my caregiver was around. But whenever I would try to open up, whenever I would try to be vulnerable, whenever I would try to express my emotions or something that didn't sit well with me, I was always dismissed. When I cry as a child, instead of our parents being there, you know, and not caring, and like, understand again, whatever, and etc. Most of avoidants are very independent and they put themselves before everybody else. I feel like also another problem that I have with these people is because they make everything about self, about me. It's not even about teamwork anymore. Well, when I shut it down, you're not, honestly, it's the worst. I'm not judging you guys. I understand where you're coming from. However, it's painful. It's painful. The fourth, which is also the last attachment style, is fearful avoidant. Fearful avoidant is a mixture of anxious and avoidant. I crave intimacy. I crave connection. But I overthink this thing. Or what if they reject me? What if? And you end up sabotaging yourself. Also, you don't even trust yourself fully. So you can make a decision today and then tomorrow you wake up feeling like, what's the point? Anyway, what if things don't go this way? And you end up self-sabotaging. Common triggers for this for these 4 attachment styles, with secure attachment styles, I feel like majority of them are misunderstood. But I feel like they're not easily manipulated. I crave connection. Therefore, I'm gonna present myself. I'm gonna present this. And if you reject this, then you could go in someone. I'm gonna take myself out of the situation. And with anxious, they tend to feel ignored by avoidant. And funny thing is that most anxiously attached people attract avoidant attachment styles. I think maybe it's that thing, okay, anxious, I have this passion and whatnot. Therefore, I crave the opposite of what I am. And also with avoidance, attract anxiously attached people. You know, why do I always attract these nonchalant people? These guys who don't care, like, habada. And now I make a change the way you. I now ask myself, what makes me attracted to these people? It's no longer about them, but nah. What makes me think, Mommy, you've seen the pattern. It never really ends well. So why only attracted to these people? They feel attacked by anxious people because these people are too attachment. But are too much. And I can't breathe. Like, bruh, I can't breathe. You're suffocating me. Give me space. I need to breathe. I need time to myself. They feel anxiously attached people are just way too much for them. They're too demanding, especially emotionally. So what else with fearful avoidance? Whenever they confuse their partners a lot because they're so inconsistent. Today, Monday, winter, and then the next day, summer. You know, you don't really get where you stand with that type of a person. It's not dangerous as much as being dismissive. Yo, guys, nah, no such for any guy. I think one of the things that is dangerous not really knowing where you stand with another person, especially the person that you love, the person that you're in relationship with, like not knowing where you stand with them or where they stand with you. Today they reject you, and then also reject you. You're trying to heal, they come back. Must be toxic, hey? Must be really toxic. And these people, but yeah, they communicate differently, man. Because with anxious, sometimes we tend to be manipulative. Just because I'm not well. Like it's about when try to make you feel guilty so that you can understand where I'm coming from. You know, try to make my emotions your responsibility. I'm not feeling well today because of you. Because you did 1, 2, 3, 4. It's always about the other person and not I. And I think one of the things that we need to fix as anxiously attached people is to stop making everything about other people. Yes, maybe the other person did 1, 2, 3, 4. But what are you doing about that? Are you actively working on that, trying to resolve the issue? Because it's not always about the other person. So we need to learn how to communicate well. And I think I'm kind of doing well. Guys, I think I'm leaning a lot towards being, securely attached. The way kids talk at the way I communicate, the way I react to conflict, even when I don't get my way. It's no longer the same. I'm not saying I'm better. But yeah, I'm doing the work anyway. It's a continuous thing. Therefore I'm going to relax. No. Each and every day you get triggered. Each and every day when something is aligned, I'm for questioning everything else. And yeah, man, I'd like to believe that I'm doing well in that regard. In the book, That's Not What I Meant by Leah, she says, the fundamental problem I was seeing with relationship work was that everyone was wanting their partners, parents, colleagues, friends' behaviors to change, but they were never willing to change their own behavior. All they could do was be more conscious about their own triggers, investigate the deeper reasons why they were both behaving that way, be honest about their unexpressed needs and expectation, and find a more workable way to communicate clearly so they could be heard and understood. Yeah, with anxious, like I said, we have that problem, yeah, where we don't really communicate clearly. You feel like I'm gonna too much. You feel like you're gonna be too much if I communicate my need. If I tell this person that I need constant reassurance, it's gonna be like I'm needy. I'm too needy. I can't handle my own emotions and then we fail to give our partners an opportunity to prove whether they can handle that or not. In a way that is also self-sabotaging, because we have this fear of being abandoned. At the core of anxiously attached people, with the fear of abandonment. With myself, going back to the same example that I made, losing parents at an early age, I now get how lose about man. But I'm learning to allow people to be people. People are meant to be loved. It's all about control, about forced to be in your life, even when they don't want to be. So okay, mommy, you're now safe. On Friday I had a mental breakdown. I kept on reminding myself that, mommy, you're now safe. Girl, you're now safe. It's okay. You're now safe. You're now safe. Kept on repeating those words like, mommy, you're now safe. You're now safe. And only those kind of talks with yourself, especially when you're being triggered or going through a mental breakdown. The final point that I'm going to make is with regards to how do we solve or resolve conflict. Got a different attachment styles, now. With securely attached people, I would say they should continue the way by regulating their nervous system, their emotions, but neutral in situations. Both sides of the puzzle, because with anxious, this is what I know. Therefore, I can be flexible to try to understand the other person and where they're coming from, which is the same thing that happens with dismissive avoidant and fearful avoidant. So with securely people, to resolve this issue, I think they're doing quite well, and they just need to continue but regulate their emotions and their feelings, while they also try to also do the same for other people. I know it's not your responsibility to regulate this person's emotions or feelings. Impa, I think I can the correct way or the right way of doing these things. But it's better. But actually, the way that I do things is actually toxic. How about I try to do things this way? And also by doing that, happy, content, when you try not to make everything about yourself. With anxious people, I think one way to resolve conflict is they need to self-soothe themselves. Pause before reacting. And pause before reacting, self-soothing, and open with their expectations about their emotions. Guys, if you're not rejected because you're being honest about the way you feel, your shortcomings, your triggers and whatnot, then those people that you are opening up to are not for you. I'm not for you. Anxious, attached people, we need to stop fearing abandonment. Unfortunately, in this life, one way or another, we're going to be abandoned. I understand it's not our fault. this entire thing is based on our upbringing. However, we need to try and change that. Our pains are not our faults, but healing definitely is our responsibility. And with avoidance, I think they need to learn how to be present. Discomfort, uncomfortable emotions, and they're present and communicate effectively, because with avoidance also they don't know how to communicate. Be present, try to understand where the next person is coming from. Try to be empathetic and compassionate. I think avoidance lack that so much. Also because they make everything about themselves, like Halkhanya. So I think they need to learn how to be present, fully present. And with fearful avoidance, they need to learn to trust themselves and others. That's the only way to solve it. Trusting yourself and trusting others, and trusting that it's okay sometimes if things don't go your way. You may plan and plan and plan, but at the end of the day, this is life. Things keep on changing. And some things, they're way out of our control. Leah also speaks about communication filters. And she says, there are nearly 8 billion versions of reality on planet Earth, none of which are the same. That's a lot of different filters. This is the fundamental problem with communication. It's not what two people are trying to say to each other. That's the issue. It's the filter between them that create the misinterpretations and misunderstandings. Your filters are your belief systems, number one. Second, life experiences, decisions you've made about yourself and others based on your life experiences. Memories, morals, values and ethics, culture and language, communication. The truth is no one knows what reality is. All you have is your own interpretation of what you think is real. That interpretation belongs to you and you alone. No one else sees reality by the way you do, not even your parents or siblings. Having this unique view of the world means you're never going to share someone else's complete viewpoint, and no one else will share yours. Ooh, guys, this explains attachment styles, honestly, because we come from different backgrounds. Our view of the world around us, of people, relationships that we're growing up, are very different. So obviously, even how we communicate is also going to be different. I think we need to learn more about communication filters, because that way you'll be able to put yourself in other people's shoes to understand how it's like. Yes, this is my reality. My doesn't mean it's the reality for the next person. In conclusion, I would say, guys, our attachment styles are not our fault, but they are our responsibility. It's really not about fixing your attachment style, but it's about becoming aware of it. Thank you so much for watching this episode. And if you've learned a thing or two, please drop your comment on the comment section below. My hope is that we all heal, we all question things around us, we all question beliefs, because most of those beliefs do not belong to us.